So let's talk through some real estate considerations when it comes to your practice and your location. First one would be location. So driving up to your space, is it easy to access? Do you have to make a U-turn to get in? Is it a right in, right out only? Or do you have maybe you have a traffic light that lets people right in? It's important to kind of think through the access. Is it easy to get to your practice? Maybe you're in a professional park. Is it going to be easy to explain for your staff to explain where you're at? If you're 17 buildings into a professional park, that might not matter if you're a specialty client and you're getting all referral-based patients. If you're maybe a general dental practice and you want to be on First and Main, you might not want to be 5 or 6 streets removed or 10 buildings into a professional park. What about the parking? That's one of the biggest aspects to your real estate considerations, your location considerations. We have clients a lot of times that say, hey, I want to be in one of the busiest areas. I want to be maybe right next to Starbucks. And while I understand you want to be next to all those eyeballs and you want to see that traffic, it's usually not the best scenario for your patients. Coming in and constantly fighting with the traffic and the parking situation that you have with Starbucks. Honestly, even when you have exclusive, you might have a dental sign, dental parking only or whatever. A lot of times you might find out that the people that are there for a quick business meeting will just park there anyway. You want to consider, do you have adequate parking? Do you have the ability to have room for not only yourself and your staff, but you've got plenty of room for the patients that you're treating and also those coming in and those leaving? Also signage. Are you going to get just a small little sign that says dentist on the building? Are you going to be able to do anything in the window panes? Are you going to be able to maybe have a pylon sign or some exposure on the monument sign out front of the shopping center? Those are all important things to kind of think through and discuss with your real estate agent. What signage am I going to get? What exposure do I get if I lease this space? And by the way, all that's negotiable. What about the appeal of the building? Is it a newer, nicer center? Are there other really good tenants or good restaurants or other good users? If you're a pediatric dentist, you probably don't want to be looking in a shopping center that is going to put you between maybe a bar and a hookah lounge or something like that. You're going to want to be in a place where people, moms, kids, families are going to be socializing or are going to be connecting with other families, are going to be doing their shopping and stuff like that. So what is the appeal of the building? Does the landlord keep it up? Do they maintain it? How about the landscaping? Is that well maintained? All that's really important to look at as you're considering what you're going to do with your office space. Neighboring tenants, I brought that up before. That's also an important consideration. You want to make sure that they will add to your brand. They will match or add to your brand. They're not going to detract. They're not going to take away. And then the overall feel of the space as you walk around. Do you get a good feel? Are you excited about it? The quality of the interior space as you walk around. Do you get a feel that, again, the electric and the HVAC is well maintained by the previous tenant or by the landlord? How does the ceiling look? How is everything? Again, we have some tenants that end up, or some clients that are looking at a couple of different spaces, and they might have one that's right next to a Subway. When you walk into that space, are you, the quality of that interior space and really the quality of that HVAC system, that heating and air conditioning, are you getting the smell of fresh bread all day? I love that smell when I go into Subway. I don't think I want to smell that all day long in my dental practice though. Next, let's kind of talk about the theme of your real estate. Your office space impacts every aspect of your practice. So obviously we've kind of talked about the patient experience where you will be, your patient will be walking through not only the waiting room, but what do the restrooms look like? Are the hallways narrow and skinny, or do they have enough room to walk around? Does it feel open and airy? How about the lighting? What kind of lighting package do you have or did you get? All of those things come into the way that a patient is going to rate or think through the impression of your practice. The staff experience, that's an important one. I had a dentist one time that said, you know what, let's do the smallest space we can get. Let's do 1,000 square feet, and I want 4 or 5 operatories. And I was thinking, I don't think that's gonna. I mean, you're not gonna have room for a lot of the things you need. And one of the big ones is going to be room for your staff to be able to move around in the in the front desk area, and then also like a little lounge break room area for your staff to be able to take breaks or have lunch. And I remember he said to me, he said, they can eat in their car. And I was thinking, well, what a terrible staff experience to choose your real estate and go so small that your staff is going to be eating their lunch. Let's think through a super rainy or snowy day. They're going to have to go back and forth to their car to eat lunch or to take a 10 or 15 minute break. That's a terrible experience. And if I can make the same money as a dental hygienist or assistant or a staff, if I can make the same amount of money across the street at a different dental office, 10 times out of 10, I'm going to go work over there. So you got to think through your staff experience when it comes to your real estate. And then your overhead. What are the costs associated? What's included and what's not included? And finally, your clinical approach and your real estate affecting your clinical approach in terms of being able to, if you want to do side delivery versus rear delivery, or are you going to have enough room for a lab or any other special requirements that you're going to have, office space or break rooms or things you want to have that are important to your vision for the practice. So to recap, your practice and the real estate that it resides on has an impression and makes an impression on everybody, not only your patients, but also your staff and yourself going in every single day. Because of that, you want to make sure that you're evaluating all those factors and making sure that you can optimize them accordingly.